Yo, yo, what's going on? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody got some nice rest. Good to go. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. You guys know what time it is, man. It is about that time. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week ahead of us. A lot going on, man. What's good, everybody? Willie, Hem, Sherman, Casey, Pascal, Melvin, Gunny, Sean, Caesar, Steadfast, Nan, Rivera, Luis, Jaden, Mr. Tupac. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you guys are having a great night this far. We got a lot to cover tonight, man. Jackson, what's up? Consistent, John, Fleeky. Let's go, Greg, Tasha, Jeremy, Morella. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? You guys know what time it is, man. We are about to get to it. You guys know what time it is. It is about that time. Sunday fun day. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Continuous growth. What's up? How you doing on this fine evening? James was good. A milli soon, man. God willing. James, what's good, brother? AR, what's up, man? What's going on, everybody? Back at the office tonight. Feeling great about it. Traded at the office last week. Felt really good. I don't mind the home setup, but it's just, it just doesn't give me the same vibes, man. It just doesn't give me the same vibes. But we're back at the office tonight, so everything should be good to go. Oh, the X giveaway still, so hopefully we got time to do that tonight. If not, for sure tomorrow. We'll get it done tonight, though, for sure. If, like I said, possibly. If not tomorrow, worst case scenario. But yeah, man. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. We got a big night ahead of us. We have a big week ahead of us. It's going to be a very hectic trading week. Major earnings reports, a couple important economic data points. And without further ado, man, let's get into it. Let me go ahead and make this screen bigger for you guys so everybody can see nice and clear. And let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. What's good, Tommy? Mr. Tommy. Mike, Anika, what's up, Jeremy? Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Alrighty, here we go. This is NQ on the monthly time frame. Last week, I talked about these monthly charts, right? These monthly charts. April's getting ready to come to an end, and they have a very, very, very big story to tell. And they also could give us a little insight on what's coming for the next month. So we're going to spend some time here on the monthlies tonight. Grand scheme of things, right? We're getting into these charts. Looking at this monthly chart, right, it's very evident what's going on, right? We're in a macro uptrend, right? We can all see that. We have our higher lows throughout here. Except, I want to talk about something, right? Like, yes, we have our higher highs, higher lows, right? We would say so, right? But if you look at this chart, right, we technically put in a lower low on the monthly, right? This is a lower low. Or a low, whatever you would like to consider it. Why do I say that? Because that was that previous structure. Right? Because if you remove, right, let's take a step back here, right? We have our all-time highs. Right? We have, let's just start from back here. We have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Right? This is a higher low. What did we do here? We broke that higher low. So this would be considered a lower low, right? Now, with that being said, what does that do for us in terms of information? I mean, at this second, it really doesn't mean much, right? But it's important to note because technically we did put in a new lower low on the monthly. So going into this next month, May, right? What we're looking for is we're looking for a few things, right? First things first, April's closing pretty strong, right? At one point in time, this candle was fully red. And as you guys can see now, we're essentially closing back up north towards the open, right? Or the top of this monthly candle. That's pretty bullish. You would think so, right? Well, yeah, from that perspective. But when you get down to a lower time frame, weekly, daily, that's just a pop, right? And that's what I'm going to talk about right now. My whole focus in terms of this monthly chart is going to be two things, right? 20,000. That is the top of this April chart, okay? Monthly bar here. Top of this April candle, okay? Going into next month's session, my top watch, okay? My top watch is going to be this 20,000. And what I want to see is I want to see April close somewhere around here, right? 19,400, 19,300, 19,500. My ultimate swing setup, right? My ultimate swing setup, short, is we attempt to break 20,000, right? We attempt to break that previous month's high and we fail, get back below it. At that point, when we get a daily closure back below that 20,000 or a weekly closure, ideally, right? That's my trigger to swing short. My stop is going to be above that weekly or daily candle that attempted to break that 20,000 level. This is my almighty short watch, right? Obviously, it's just a what if scenario right now. There's 2 days left in April. May's not even here yet, right? So it's a bunch of what if scenarios. But that's my top watch. Bullish case, right? We break that previous month's high, 20,000, and we hold, right? We hold and we start trading back higher. Let's translate this to the weekly, right? Let's translate this to the weekly. This is what we got here on the weekly. And it's tricky. It's tricky for a few reasons. Again, right? Let's talk technicals. Sure, right? You want to zoom out far as you can. The overall chart's still bullish. But again, you talk technicals. We talk technicals, right? We're technical traders. What did we do? We broke that recent lower high. We're talking about an uptrend, right? What does it consist of? High, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, all-time highs, right? Okay, what did we do? We came down and we broke that recent higher low, putting in a lower low. We were in a downtrend. We technically still are in a downtrend here on the weekly, right? We have that double top, failure to go higher, break of structure, lower high, lower low, lower low. Now here we are. So the big question from here is, are we going to rip, pull back, rip, pull back, rip into all-time highs, right? That's the question. But if you notice, there's a lot missing from here. We don't have any higher lows. But what we do have is what? Lower highs and lower lows, right? So right now, we're kind of in this decision point because we do have a higher low here, but there's no higher high. We're just back into the supply now. So right now, we're trading in a very tricky area, right? Now, if you take into account last week's close, right? That's a very bullish close, right? We wicked below that previous week's low, attempted to go lower, failed, reclaimed, broke that previous week's high, and closed a bullish engulfing, right? So you would consider that pretty bullish. But again, you go down to the daily time frame here. There's not much to go off of. We're still in a downtrend on the daily. Why do I say that? Simply look at the chart. Double top, failure to go higher, break of structure. Then what do we have? Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Lower low, lower high. What did we do Friday's session? Last week, pulled back, we formed a higher low, right? That's our first cue of a bullish reversal. What did we do? We went and broke that recent lower high. So now we have something to work from here. We have something to work from here. We broke that lower high, so technically we swept that structure, right? This is now working towards a bullish chart. Why? We have a higher low and we took out that lower high. But guess what we're missing here? We're missing a vital key component of an uptrend. An uptrend is what? Higher highs and higher lows. As of right now, we just have a higher low and a high. We're missing this key point, right? We're missing that next higher low. this could easily fail 19,400. And then guess what? Fail. Easily. We're technically still bearish as long as we're below 2,400, which is what I just talked about on the weekly. That 20,000, 2,400. That is the structure. Until we have consecutive higher highs and higher lows here on the daily, we got to be cautious. We got to be cautious. Now, I'm not trying to discredit the strength at all, right? We've seen last week's session, we ripped. That doesn't mean we need to be shorting every single resistance level. No, that just means we need to take into account the overall structure. And when you get down to the hourly here, that's where you really see, hey, what's going on? Last week's session, what do we do? Bounced off, not last week, but before this, right? Breaking down the chart. We have a low, we have a high. Pulled back, formed that higher low, and then what we do last week? We ripped, right? We had a high, we had a higher low, high, higher low, and then here we are now. What are we doing? We're just back into that major supply. Right? We're back into that major supply. So again, what do we do here? This is the area where it's a bunch of question marks in the air. Literally, right? A bunch of question marks. What do we do? I don't know. The market hasn't shown us anything, right? I don't know what we do from here. I don't know if we, hey, hold, rip, or we fail and dump. I don't know, right? There's nothing on this chart that says either way. All we do is have a break of structure. We don't have a hold. The hold would be, hey, us pulling back, breaking Friday's highs, and pushing higher. That would be the hold. Right now, we just have a break. This could easily turn into a failure. So right now, we're kind of just, we're stuck in the mud. There's not much we can do with this chart, but there are beautiful levels for us to trade from. So again, this week's session, first things first, is we have massive earnings lineup on top of very important data, right? Now, if we're looking at this earnings lineup, you're going to notice that majority of all these big earnings are later in the week. Now, I'm going to pull them all up here just to show you guys. Give me 1 second. I'll pull all of these up. Okay. This is our earnings lineup for this week. It's a big one. It's a big one. Kick it off Tuesday. We have PayPal. Right? We have PayPal here. We have UPS. We have JetBlue. Spotify is a fun one to trade. Visa, Starbucks. Starbucks is fun to trade sometimes. Going into Wednesday, we have CAT. I'm going over this for a reason. I'll break it down in a second. CAT. We have the big boys here. Microsoft, Meta. Another fun one to trade. Robinhood, QCOM. Right? Going into Thursday before market open, we have Roblox, fun to trade. Massive names here. Amazon, Apple. Fun name to trade. Airbnb, right? If you guys look at this chart, week starts off slow, right? Starts off slow. Monday, nothing really going on. Tuesday, we got a couple names. The big day of the week is going to be Wednesday. So what likely happens here, from my experience, is we're not going to see much going on from Monday to Tuesday or anything like that, right? The market's going to be heavily waiting on these earnings reports, specifically Microsoft, specifically Meta, specifically Amazon, massive on Apple. So at the beginning of the week here, we're likely not going to see much action, which is good because we're going to have some form of consolidation. Or if we do get some action, it's going to give us some insight on what could potentially come later in the week. So with that being said, all of our focus should be on the later end of the week here for multiple reasons. One, these 2 days specifically, is if we get, say for example, good Microsoft, good Meta, good Apple, bad Amazon. Majority of these are good, so the market's probably going to rip, right? And on the flip side, if we get bad Microsoft, bad Meta, bad Apple, bad Amazon, guess what? That's a catalyst for the market to go lower, right? So these names are very valuable for a few reasons. One, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Apple, they're very, very valuable in terms of overall market structure and sentiment, right? Overall sentiment. It'll give us a good gauge on what's happening for the next upcoming weeks, right? In terms of structure and sentiment. Also, every single one of these names are potential A-plus post-earnings setups. Nice gap up, gap down on PayPal, or Starbucks, or Microsoft, or Meta, or CAT, or Robinhood, or QCOM, or Roblox, right? Any one of these names is a great potential post-earnings setup. So this week we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with Airbnb, 12 really, right? We could probably add another in there, 13. We have a solid 11, 12, 13 potential post A plus setups, post earnings A plus setups, right? Where we have a nice gap up, nice gap down. We could look for that second day continuation, second day pullback to go long, second day pop to short if it's a gap down, right? And we have 13 potential A plus setups, right? Are they all going to be A plus setups? No, but we have 13 different opportunities to catch a great setup. That's why an earnings calendar like this is so important. One, for overall sentiment with those big beta names, and two, setups that we can trade on that second day. And then, again, veered off of the chart real quick to come talk about the significance, right? That's the big thing. The significance of this chart is if you look at it, right? This is the boiling point, and the market tends to always do this, right? The boiling point. We end up in this massive fucking key area right before earnings, right before data, and guess what they do? They fucking send it, right? So my opinion, right? I think we see a lot lower. That's my opinion. I think last week was a dead cat bounce, and I'm going to explain why in a second. Does my opinion mean much? No, it does not. But I'm taking into account multiple factors. One, last week, we ripped over 10% with little to no pullback. Outside of that, if you really look at these charts, NQ is the only chart that broke that structure. And then again, right now, we're failing, right? We're failing. So NQ, only one that broke the structure. ES, it's still in that supply. ES did not break out. ES is still in that macro supply. This is no shape or form bullish by any means. This is very bearish still, right? And then you go over to YM. What do you notice? We're still below that structure. This is still very, 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 very bearish, right? If you want to be technical here, we're still in correction territory. ES, still in correction territory. NQ, still in correction territory. YM, what do you notice? We're still in that massive supply. So to be extremely bullish, it's just absurd, right? These charts tell a different story. There's no reason to be bullish yet. Yes, did we see a bounce last week? Sure, but there's nothing on this chart for us to make a rational decision to say, hey, we need to be extremely bullish. The only thing this chart says is, hey, you need to be fucking careful. That's it, because there's no decision here right now, right? This is the big boiling point where something's going to happen, right? This is either going to trigger the move back into all-time highs, or this is going to trigger the move back into a bear market. That's what type of area we're in. So to say, higher or lower from this, I mean, obviously, lower would be the higher percentage, right? If I had to say a percentage of higher or lower, I would say 70% lower, 30% higher. Reason being, exactly as I just stated, the divergences between the indices, and then obviously the overall market structure. So again, going into this week, there's going to be a lot of opportunity, right? We might start off a little bit slower, but overall, there should be great opportunity. Now, let's get into levels here that we could potentially trade tonight into tomorrow. First things first, we got Friday's high, right? 19,600. This is a level of value. 19,200, 19,150. This is a level of value. This is essentially a range here, right? Inside of this range, will there be value? I'm sure. Am I interested in trading inside of this range? Probably not, right? Did I take a little bit of trade tonight? Did I take a short tonight? Yes, I did, right? And I'm always going to be a man of my word. You guys know one thing I don't do is bullshit, right? One thing I don't do is bullshit. I'll even show my account number. I don't give a fuck, right? There's one thing someone can't do better than me, and that's show proof of what they say they do. There's my account number for anybody that's wondering. I copy all my accounts together so you can do the math. 2,000 times 30, that's 60,000. Not tripping about it. Big thing is, right, this week, what we need to focus on, 19,600, 19,250, 19,150, 19,200, okay? So, my game plan, right, if we can pop and hold above this 19,600, right, this is where I want to go long. This is where I want to look for that continuation back into that 20,000. Why? Look at what happened. We have this massive imbalance here from that day where we had that tariff news, right? There's not much resistance here, as you can see, right? So if we can get above that 19,600, I think it's very likely for us to go tag that 20,000. And then that is where that monthly setup will come into play. Okay, that is where that monthly setup will come into play. We could look for that short entry around this 20,000, 20,200 to really slam a short swing. All right, that's the top watch, right? Long above that 19,600 into 20,000. Watch that 20,000, 20,200 to really scale into a put position to swing, right? That's the game plan. Now, On the flip side, right? On the flip side, major demand, 19,150, 19,200. Right now, it kind of looks like we're forming a head and shoulders too, by the way. If we could pull back into the demand, 19,150, 19,200 and hold, I think there could be value there for a long opportunity back into that 19,600. Or at least, right, if you want to be technical here, what do we have? We have a left shoulder, we have a head. So if we could pull back into this 19,200, 19,150, and then pop back into that supply, we could look for that head and shoulders there. That's something we could do. Obviously, this is super early stages, but that's something that we could watch. Outside of that, the big levels, like I said, 19,600. Get above that 19,600, we can look for that long back into that 20,000. Downside, very simple. Very simple, right? Downside, we get below that 19,150, adios amigos, right? It's nothing but room back down into that 18,600. If we lose that 18,600, it's really all over. Back down into the 17,700s, right? So the very big levels this week, 1, 19,600 to the upside, 2, 19,150 to the downside, 18,600 as a target, 18,200 as a target, 17,700 as a target. Like I said, my personal opinion is last week was just a dead cat bounce, and we'll be down here sometime soon. That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is this week. So we'll go from there. But yeah, that's what I'm watching on NQ. I'm even watching a setup right now, to be very honest with you. And I'll break down why, right? Last week, what did we do? Nice uptrend, tested that major supply, 19,600. What do we do tonight? Gap down, right? We're looking at this chart for the face value. We gap down. That's the top of tonight's open, right? Push down, formed a low here. What do we do? We popped, formed a lower high. What do we do? Formed a lower low. What do we do? Popped, formed a lower high. Here we are now with a new lower low. So my game plan right this second is two things. If we can pop back into this 19,440, this massive supply here, 19,440, this is where I would look for a short position. Back down into that 19,380. We lose 19,380. That's that 19,200 next. That's my personal game plan right now, right this second. If we can get an entry, I'll take it with you guys. Other setup I like here is if we can reclaim 19,440, say for example, come down, test this demand, reclaim, break 19,440, and hold above this 19,440, I think that's a great long opportunity to fill this gap up here at 19,560. Those are my two top watches going into the morning session for tomorrow on NQ. Alrighty, let's get over to ES here. We spent a ton of time on NQ. ES, pretty much identical monthly chart here, right? We have that long wick. Again, going back to the overall structure, sure, are we bullish? Yes, 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 yes. But then guess what? Same thing I talked about on NQ, right? An uptrend consists of what? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. What do we have here? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. What do we do down here? We broke that higher low and we put in a lower low. So I'm going to be very honest with you guys, and anybody who understands technical analysis, you know exactly what I'm about to say. If next month we pop, right? This is the almighty short watch. Next month we break, what level is that? 5780, 5800, 5780, 5800. If we break April's, this monthly candle's high, April's high, we break, we test 5770, 5780, fail, get back below April's high. This is an A+ short setup to swing. If we fail, I think that's going to be the trigger for a move back down into these lows. And again, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. That's my A+ swing setup for ES. Same thing I talked about with NQ. Identical setup, different ticker. That's it. April closes out right around this 5,500, 5,400, 5,600 area. We pop in May, break that 5,770, 5,800, fail, get back below April's high, get that daily closure, weekly closure, we swing short, target this week low. That's the game plan. Again, going down to the weekly. Same thing I talked about with NQ. No matter how you want to look at this chart, you can't be bullish yet, right? You just can't. Look at it. What do we have? Double top, failure to go higher. Massive break of structure. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Do we have any shift of structure here? No, we don't. In fact, what are we doing right now? We're sitting back into this major supply. Last week, did we close strong of bullish engulfing? Yes. Does that mean we're bullish? No, that means that last week we were strong. That's all that means, right? Just as easily as we reclaim that previous week's candle is just as easy as we can lose last week's candle. So going into this week's session, like I said, it's going to be tricky, right? It's going to be tricky for very valid reason. If you look at this chart, it's tricky, right? It's tricky. Again, what do you notice here on the daily? Full-blown downtrend. We have our all-time highs, right? Our high, breakup structure, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low, and here we are now, right? So what do we have to work from for this week? First things first, where are we trading? We closed back into the line in the sand, major macro supply. That is where we're trading right now, right? Right now. This could be, right? This could turn into, who knows what? Massive bear flag. Bottom line is this chart's still bearish, right? That's the bottom line here. This daily chart, what do we have? We have a low, and now we have a higher low. That higher low doesn't mean shit yet, right? What we need to see is a hold of that structure, break that supply, pull back, hold, and then pop. And then we could say, hey, okay, now we're back in an uptrend. But just because we popped last week, there's no uptrend here. All this is a leg higher, right? That's all it is. A little pop. That's it. And again, you want to zoom out and talk big picture, right? What do we have here? We're just trading back into this macro supply. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're trading back into this major supply. That is all we're doing. So again, you can't be bullish, right? And if anything right here, this is where you're bearish, right? We're in that macro supply. This is where you look for those short entries. And again, same thing I talked about with NQ. What do we have forming here? We got that left shoulder, we got that head, we got that right shoulder, right? That's what I see forming. Overall, these charts to me are still very bearish, right? And I'm taking them for face value. Anybody who looks at this chart and sees otherwise needs their fucking head checked. Where are you getting bullish structure from, right? Like, or where are you getting sure, is the hourly an uptrend? Sure, right? We have a low, we have a higher low, a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then here we are now, right? Sure, last week were we in an uptrend on the hourly? Yes. Are we in an uptrend on the daily? No, we're not, right? We're not. By any means, we're not in an uptrend. All we did is trade back into this major supply, right? That's all we did. Game plan. Very simple for the week ahead. Very simple. First things first. Massive level here. As you guys can see, 54.85. 54.85. Massive level to the upside. 55.70. Game plan is very simple. We pull back in this 54.85. We hold. We could look for a long entry back into the 54.40. 55.70. In order to be confident in upside continuation, we need to get above that 55.70. That's where we can look for that long back into 56.70, back into that 5700. That's the upside scenario. Downside looks the best to me for multiple reasons. One, macro supply rejection on Friday, right? Two, if we can get a break and hold below this 54.85, there's literally nothing but room down into 5400, and below that 335, we're back into these daily lows. Downside looks an absolute ton better for obvious reasons. So, game plan this week on ES, above 55.71, we can look for those dips to go long. Below that 54.85, we can look to go short. That's simple. All right? Like I said, right now, it's, this is a chart. It's just tricky, right? It's tricky. But when you have a tricky chart like this, where we're coming off a strength, right, into this major macro supply, what do you focus on? You focus on the trend, right? And what have we been doing? We've been bearish, right? We've been bearish. So just because we had one day of strength or 1 week of strength, that does not mean we're all of a sudden super bullish, right? At all. That's not what that means by any means, right? That's not what it means at all. That's not what it means at all. Again, this is a chart that right now looks great for a short, right? If you wanted to short this, what would you do? You could literally go short here, stop above Friday's high, right? From a risk to reward standpoint, you're literally, what is that? You're risking 40 points for a potential 400-point move. That's a 10-hour trade, right? Versus if you go long here, right, your target's Friday's highs, you're risking 50 points for a 50-point move, right? It just doesn't make sense. It's silly. Very, very silly. But yeah, that's what I'm watching on ES. Like I said, I think both of these charts look great for lower. I do. Until we get that actual break, right, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see it at all. Where did I enter for my current entry? Oh, I've been in for a minute. I've been in since right here. I've been in for a while. I've been in for a good while, but this still looks great for lower. Like, what are we seeing tonight? We have that opening gap, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. What are we getting? Just trade with the trend, man. That's how fucking simple it is. That's how simple it is. Just trade with the trend. That's all you gotta do. Trade with the fucking trend, man. That's simple. Trade with the trend. That's it. That's all you gotta do is trade with the trend. I'm not gonna lie, this looks beautiful to short right now. It does. What did I start that account with? I'll show you guys right now. I have no shame in my game. I guarantee you, there's probably a handful of people on the internet that are about to do what I'm about to do. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Oh, I can't paste it. It's too big. What the fuck? Hold on a second. I'll show you right now. My account number's showing, but I don't give a fuck. I'll just blur it out, I guess. I mean, y'all already seen it. I don't really give a fuck. To be honest with you. I don't really give a fuck. But you can clearly see, right? Started with 5K, 7 trading days, sitting at 25K, plus tonight, sitting at 28K. So I don't know what's that, like a 5x, 6x, something like that. But that's not what matters. What matters most is, obviously, you got to know how to trade. This kid says I'm clueless. I just showed I turned 5K into 28K in 7 days, and he says I'm clueless. My small account is... Are you fucking retarded? Did you not just see this? Oh, it's Mamba. That's why. Kid's a fucking retard. Oh, my God. I was about to say... I was about to get upset, then I realized it was Mamba. Kid's a fucking retard. Says I'm clueless. My small account's at 0. But I just turned my small account from 5K into 25K. That's literally the opposite of what you just said. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, he's a fucking joke. That couldn't have been any more perfect. He says that my small account's at 0, and I show him my small account's at 25,000, and boom, message evaporates. That was fucking great. That was fucking great. That was fucking great. Alrighty, let's talk a little bit about YM as well. YM here, for anybody that doesn't know, this is the Dow. We're not going to go into too much deep because I don't really trade it personally. If some of you guys do, I'll give you guys some levels. But again, still below this major supply here. That's very evident. Big level here to trade from, 41,000. And then obviously we have that low at 38,000. I am interested to start trading this more, but you know, it is what it is. RTY, same thing. You guys can see here, trading in this massive supply. If you want to trade RTY, all eyes on this 2,000 level, right? In my opinion, long as we're below this 2,000, look for those pops to short. If we reclaim 2,000, buy the dip, hold. That's simple. That would be my approach with RTY. Silver, I love this chart short, right? I love this chart short. You guys can see what we just did here. I've been looking for a short entry all night, but I kind of hesitated. Silver's testing this macro supply here. Beautiful, beautiful. Watch, I'm going to show you guys right now. Beautiful supply here on silver, man. This is a fucking beautiful chart. I wish I would have entered a little while ago. You guys can see here. This is just a A+ setup across the board. Had that massive sell here. Pushed right back into that macro supply. Classic break and retest. Look at this here. This is just an A+ setup. If you guys want to know what an A+ break and retest reversal looks like, look at this silver chart. Massive resistance. We attempted to go higher here. We failed. What do we do? Perfect break and retest. This looks fucking amazing for lower. My game plan on silver right now is just short the pop and hold. This is literally a textbook, beautiful A+ setup. I've been trying to find an entry all night, and I just haven't. This is just so beautiful. Major resistance, which we held as support, failed it, broke this uptrend trend line support, got that lower high here. This looks fucking amazing for lower. This is honestly my favorite chart for lower for the week ahead. This chart is just literally beautiful. Literally beautiful. This is an A+ chart right now. Like A+. I can't say it enough. Like looking at it, I just wish I had an entry. That's the only thing I wish right now. Like this chart is just that level right here. What is it? 33.2. Just look at the significance of it. Support, support, resistance, 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 support. Back again is resistance. We broke that uptrend trendline support. Like this is my whole focus going into tomorrow, is just finding a short entry somewhere here. Honestly, if I was watching it, we probably could have took that lower high right there. So I'm gonna set a bunch of alerts here right now. Hopefully we can catch it. I'm gonna set an alert right here. I'm gonna set an alert right here. Yeah, this silver chart looks absolutely amazing for lower. Absolutely amazing. Gold as well. I talked about gold last week. I literally told you guys to short gold up here, and I didn't even take it myself. But again, this chart looks beautiful for lower as well. Beautiful chart for lower here. We had that all-time high test failure. Now we're in a beautiful little downtrend here. Reject that macro supply. Beautiful drop base here. This looks amazing for lower as well. Looks absolutely fucking amazing for lower. This is another chart I love. Silver and gold look great. Only hesitation here with gold is this 3250, 3260. This is a very big demand here, as you guys can see. I like silver a lot more. A lot more. But these are two charts I would love to get a fucking short entry on and just hold for the fences. Specifically gold. Gold and silver. Gold and silver are two charts that I freaking absolutely love. Love. Got that downtrend trendline resistance too. Like these charts are literally beautiful. Like right now, I would take this trade if we got it. What is this? Yeah, if we get a pop back into that 33.10. Hold on, let me fix my levels real quick. And then we'll go about our night. Because I do want to catch this at some point. If it happens while we're on live, I'll take it with you guys. I do not want to miss this. I do not want to miss this. I've already missed enough. Like tonight, it's already down 60 points. Like just for a perspective, from right here to right here, that's a $35 move. That's $3,500 per contract. If you just had one contract, you would have made 3.5K. One contract off that move. Even if you chased it, let's say you took it below this structure, you would have made, let me see. You would have still made fucking 2K. Yeah. I'm going to set an alert here at 3,300. If we pop, I'm going to set alert here at 3306. I've missed gold for the past 6 months. I always watch it. I always set alerts. And I always fucking miss it. Every time. Like the main one that we missed was that break and retest to all-time highs. And then I just watched it rip for 2 months. And then I wanted to short it last week. I told you guys to short it. And I just watched the whole move happen. And then tonight, I've been watching a short entry all night. Watched it. I don't know why. I don't know why. I cannot trade gold or silver. I don't know why. Like, it's a perfect setup. Like I talked about with silver. It kind of just scares me, though, because silver, for example, right? This fucking thing moves $500 every 10 cents. Right? So, say, for example, that fucker moves like $1. You're down 5K. Or you're up 5K. They're just, both of them are very, very volatile. But yeah, these are my two top short watches, and you guys know why. Silver, love short this week, or really, you know, until tomorrow, at least. Gold, same thing. Obviously, that could change, but as of right now, that looks fucking amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. What other chart was I looking at? Oh, silver. Let me fix that real quick. Silver. Where's it at? There it is. What was the level on silver? 33.1. Yeah, that silver chart is fucking just, man, dude. Like I said, if you guys want to study something, this is an A+ break and retest, and this is what a level should look like, right? Like I just gave you guys a ton of free game. Study this chart, right? Like this is a definition of an A+ reversal, right? Just again for the people in the back, right? You now have that lower high on the daily. right? You get down to the hourly. What do you notice? Massive level, right? Massive resistance. We attempted to go higher. We failed. Formed that lower low. Popped back into it. Formed that lower high. Retested that trendline support, turn resistance. That's an A+ setup with multiple confluences. That's as clean as it gets, right? That's literally as clean as it gets. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. Like, literally does not get any cleaner than that. But before we move forward here, let me go ahead and fix this real quick. What's that level? 33.1? Yeah, 33.1. I got my alert set there. Perfect. Alert set there. Perfect. All right, let's move forward. Damn, we're running a little bit late tonight. We're running a lot of bit late, actually. All right, we're good to go. Alrighty, let's get into SPY and QQQ. I know a ton of you guys like to follow along with this, so we'll go over SPY first. Let me know when you guys are ready. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. Oh, he was, it doesn't even matter. I'm always, this is the thing, dude. Like, that kid Mamba, every week, every day is the same thing. He's, like, literally my #1 fangirl. He's in the Zoom every single day. He's on the Sunday Live. It's honestly admirable how much he shows up. Like, for a person, like, if I didn't like somebody, I would not spend every single day of my life worried about them. You know what I mean? Like, I would not. I would not spend every single day of my life worried about them. But just for transparency purposes, I'll show you guys right now, right? I think he was talking about my Robinhood account, which I am down on, right? He said it's at 0, but it's not at 0. This is the account right here. And again, transparency. No one else will do this, right? Started with $1,000, took it to 2,000, took it back down to 700, 700 back to 1,500, and then here we are now at $300, 400, right? So far from 0. As you've seen before, I took it from 400 to 1,500. I just haven't given it any attention. That's it. I just haven't gave it any attention. It's not at 0, obviously, as you just seen. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Small accounts are hard as fuck. I'll be the first to admit it. Right? Anything under 5K is hard as shit to grow. Hard as shit. Very hard to grow. There's not a single person in this space, and I stand on this, and I say this respectfully, as honest and transparent as I am. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Alrighty, let's get it. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Alrighty, here we are. SPY. Tricky chart, man. Like I said with ES, I don't want to go too much in depth on SPY and QQQ because obviously a lot's going to change overnight with NQ and ES. I'll just go over the big levels with you guys. SPY here, very simple. Week ahead, 544. Right? Line in the sand here, 555, line in the sand to the upside. We lose this 544, that's where we can be very confident going short, back down into that 531. 531 here is a major demand. Could look for a relief bounce here initially, back into that 544. If we lose that 531, we're back down into the 510s. Upside, very simple. Get back above Friday's highs, that 555. Simply go long, target that 560. Watch that 565, 570 area as I spoke about on ES for a 1, reject. 2, that's where we can look to build into a short position with a stop above 575. And that's the game plan on SPY for the week ahead. You want to see the Apex chart? Sure, no problem. I guarantee you no one would do this at all, what I'm about to do. Nobody. 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 You want to see the Apex chart? Here you go. Hold on. You can't see it. Here we go. Let me fix it. There you go. You can see every single red day here, which was Friday. That was the day I took a red day. But you can see my biggest red day was 5,000, and I lost 2,000 on Friday. The reason it says negative 5K on Friday is because I took a payout on Friday for 27.50. So if you do the math, 2,500 plus 27.50 is exactly 57.50. That's why it says I lost 5K on Friday. I didn't really lose 5K on Friday. I only lost 2,500, and I took a payout of 27.50, which is 55,000 on Friday. That's why it shows that. But as you can see here, my average green day is about 2,000. Had a couple break-even days here and there, but my average green day is about 2K. A couple 5K days here, 5K, 5K, 3K, 1K, you know, so on and so forth. I don't know what else I could show you. I guess I could show you this. I don't know. I don't know what else you want to see. You could do the math here, right? You could do the math. It's times 20, right? What's that, like 1.4? No, that's 1.2. 1.2 million right now. Got 49 days. Total balance is 200K. As you can see, it's still active. There you go. Alrighty, let's get it. QQQ. Hopefully that satisfied a lot of the nosy folks out there. Anything else y'all want to see? Just let me know. Sure. Oh, you want to? Oh, here you go. Sure. You want to see this as well? Here. What does that say? April 26, 27.50 times 20. That's 55,000. That got approved yesterday. That's my third payout this month. 55,000 times 3. What's that? That's 165,000 for Apex alone this month, withdrawn in the bank. Anything else? That's the thing. Yeah, they want me to slip up, but I literally don't lie. You know what I mean? Like, I can't lie because I won't remember my lie, and I'll lie again, and I'll get caught in a lie because I lied the first time. Like, what the fuck? I just can't. That's not me. I'd rather just be honest. I'd rather be transparent. Then I don't have to worry about it. I don't lie, right? You know what I mean? Like, anything I've said I've done, I've done. Like, I can literally log on to stake.com right now and show you I've withdrawn over 1.4 million, which people find it hard to believe. I had an insane luck streak, right? I mean, just the other day, I turned $100 into 140K. Sometimes I get lucky, right? I don't know. I don't know what else y'all want me to do. I don't know. Alrighty, QQQ. We already covered pretty much NQ. Game plan here, like I said, monthly chart, all eyes, 482, 490. That's that daily 200 MA. So game plan here, very simple. QQQ, massive level, 464, massive level, 473. Okay? So going into the week ahead, we get above that 473, we can look to go long back into that 480, 485. That 485 is where it correlates to NQ 20,000, and that 491 correlates to that 2200. That is where I want to start looking for a reject and scaling into a short position if we get up there on NQ and QQQ. But again, longs, right? Get above 473, we can go long into that 486. That is very valid. Downside, very simple, right? If we pull back into this demand here, 464 and hold, could be value long there, back into 473. But the main watch is going to be a break and hold below 464. That should get us back down to this 450. 450 is that massive demand where we could then look to flip long again. For a little demand bounce, main watch is below that 450. We get that 430 again. And that's the game plan for the week ahead on QQQ. I've done it a couple times, man. I turned $5 into 200,000 one time. On my birthday, I turned 400 into 270,000. I don't have luck anywhere in my life, but when it comes to stake, I've had extreme luck. I'm not mad about it. But I kind of quit playing once I lost 60K in one night. Like it was like 50, 55, right around there in one night. Yeah, so I quit playing after that. I didn't quit playing, but I quit playing with winnings, right? I would leave like X amount of money in there after I won, and then it just went horrible one night, and I kind of just stopped. I just played with the bonuses they give me and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, that's like the maximum form of degen you could possibly get. So, yeah, I'm not for that. I'm not for that at all. I'm not for that at all. Alrighty, let's get into these individual names here. I'm not gonna lie, this gold is looking very tempting right now. This gold is looking very, very tempting. I'm not gonna lie. This gold is looking very, very tempting. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, but, you know, a lot of people do follow me when it comes to trading. You know, that's why I always show the trades that I take on Zoom. You know, if I'm following somebody, I want to see what they're doing is, you know, correct. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that the person I'm following is doing what they say they are. So I give you guys that respect. You know what I mean? Like, if I take a trade on Zoom with you guys, I show it. Win, lose, or draw, right? Like, that's my kind of pact to you guys. If I take a trade outside of Zoom, you likely will never see it unless it's obviously, like, massive. But, you know, yeah, that's just it. Yeah, I want to keep an eye on this gold really quick. See if we can get a short entry off of this 3,300. We have that massive structure here, just forming a beautiful bear flag below it. I think we can at least get down into that 3,260. And here we go without us. Okay. Okay. Well, there goes that. That was fun while it lasted. Wow, these charts are super fucking weak. Am I in NQ right now? No. I'm watching this gold for a short right now, though. This looks fucking amazing. This looks really, really good. This looks really freaking good. I should have just entered. I know I should have. It literally just went, though. You guys seen it. It doesn't look like a big move, but that's like $1,000 already. Yeah, I already went over SPY. I already went over QQQ as well. We're about to get into these individual names. Damn. I would have really loved to caught that. It's all good. I'm going to be honest, man. We're going to talk about this one more time. I try to set the standard. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. Oh, was the light counter already at 300? I don't know. Was it? Or was it at 150? If it's at 300, I owe you guys two. It doesn't matter. I owe you guys 2 giveaways. It doesn't matter. Bottom line is, man, I try to set the standard. You know what I mean? Like, what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if I take a trade with you guys on Zoom, I feel like it's my obligation to show you that I actually executed what I said I did, right? And a lot of stuff I do is public, right? Like, I didn't have to make the Apex stuff public, but since I did, it's my obligation to show that it's real, right? And like I said, there's probably a handful of people that could do it on the spot like I did, right? No iffy bullshit, straight on the spot, boom, right? This is it. All live, no smoking mirrors, no Google spreadsheets, no long-term gain flexing. That's that, right? And I do this consistently, right? I've done it over a year. I've done it over 2 years. I've done it over 3 years. I've done it over 4 years. Come on, gold, you're killing me. And this is the thing, like, I try to set the standard and show how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money to be made in the market trading, and there's a lot of money to be made off of others' eagerness to learn, right? Which I always talk about, and that's the Discords, the subscriptions, the courses. And I feel like that's very wrong when these people are out there posting their long-term gains or Google spreadsheets and selling people a dream, thinking that they're going to do the same thing, but really they're not even doing it. It's just they're making money off the subscription and paying other people to trade. And other people that are trading, they're just only trading because they're getting paid, right? It's not cool, man. That's not right. That's how the industry is. And, you know, I mean, it's not my job, right, to save everybody, but I can do I can fulfill a spot and educate, right? They say knowledge is power, and I've been on both sides, you know what I mean? So I can speak from experience. I've been with all those, you know, big Discord owners that probably a lot of you guys follow, and they're just as shallow as that 6-foot grave they'll sit in one day, right? It's not cool. It's not. They're all pieces of shit. Don't get me wrong. There's just some that are cool, right? But it's a lot of them are frauds. They're phonies, right? Like it's a fact. And you're hearing this from somebody that is friends with a lot of them, right? They are, and there's a handful, like I said, that are very cool, and they know who they are, right? I'm not here to name names for anybody, good or bad, right? There's a million different discords out there. There's a million different courses out there, and that's how money's made, right? The money's not made from trading; it's made from the back end off the course, and that's the big difference, right? I'm not naming names, right? I have friends. The people that I follow, those are the ones that I fuck with, right? I'm not here to put down anybody or anything like that. Because like I said, you can go on fucking X or Instagram right now, and a trading person pops up every 5 seconds saying, hey, sign up for my course. I'm going to guarantee you this. You guaranteed that. Guarantee this. Guarantee that. It's all bullshit, right? Tyler, don't even get me started. That is one person I'll mention. K Capitals is not real as fuck. He took my mentorship. He tried to scam my mentees. That kid is a fucking fraud. That is the only person I'll ever call out, because I call a spade, right? That is one person I can 100% confirm is a fake. I have every receipt for it and everything you could possibly think of. That is 100% a fact. We could bring the text messages up from 2023 where he's calling me and crying and this and that. And then completely, once I kicked him for trying to scam other people, he tried to go Hollywood, buy a bunch of followers and this and that. We don't got to go there, but I'm being 100% honest. I'm 100% fact. You guys know I don't cap about anything, right? I can pull up the receipts right now, right this second. That is one person I would say is a piece of shit. An honest piece of shit. An honest piece of shit. That's all I'm going to say. And you guys know, anybody who's been following me for years, I don't talk bad about anybody, but that is one person is a horrible person. Literally, bro. Like, I'm not trying to put too much of his business out there, but there was a time where he literally closed down a Discord because he was unprofitable and felt like he was doing people a disservice by trading with them. So he shut it down, and then literally a month later, he got low on money, opened it back up, and did the same thing again. Any person like that is a piece of shit. I gave him the time of day, but when he tried to rip off my other mentees, he's literally the only person to date that I've ever kicked from my Discord. There's one person, and that's him. That is a complete fact. I can go show you my ban history for my Discord. There's one person I've ever kicked, and that was him. That's 100% a fact. I've never kicked anybody else. Ever. Oh my god, look at this gold, man. Please tell me one of you guys caught this. That's almost $1,500 a contract. That is fucking insane. Did anybody catch this gold? What a fucking trade, man. We just talked about this too. Ah. Fuck. Holy shit. That is nuts, dude. Wow. You caught silver? What's that doing? Is that dumping too? Yeah, fuck me, man. Looks so good. I could really go off for real, man, but I'm not. I mean, that's already too much for me. I shouldn't even have said what I said, but it's a fact, man. You know, I try to warn people. I try to, you know, stay away from the bullshit. That's all. That's all I can say. Stay away from the bullshit. Stay away from the bullshit. What a fucking trade, man. Jesus. Fuck. I need to quit the vape. Yeah, I know. That's my one vice, bro. That's my one vice. I want to chase this gold, but we can't right now. It's in that demand. You can't chase gold here. This is huge. This is huge. All right, let's get back to the watch list. I'm going to say this, man. Anybody who owns a Discord and doesn't trade every day but promotes as they're day trading is a fraud. That's a fact. You're promising people something, you're saying something that isn't true. Right or wrong? Wow, man, this fucking gold. I can't take my eyes off the chart. All right, let's finish this watch list. Here we go. First individual name is Netflix. You guys can see here. This is an absolute beautiful chart. Bounced off that macro demand, broke those all-time highs, currently sitting at all-time highs. Beautiful rising volume through last week's session. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful chart. An absolute beautiful chart. This looks very, very, very good. Nice, strong closure here. Game plan is very simple on Netflix, right? We're looking for a retest of those all-time highs. We can get a pullback into this 1065, 1070 area. That's where we can look for a demand bounce. Upside's very simple. If we can hold above this 1100 on Netflix, look for those pullbacks. This likely gets parabolic and discovers some new prices up there towards the 1150, 1200. I think that looks very good on Netflix. What else we got here? Tesla. This is a name I have massive FOMO on from Friday. Massive FOMO. For you guys that were trading with me, you know why. Major demand hold here on Tesla on the weekly. Beautiful, beautiful weekly bullish engulfing. Nice rising volume. Tesla looks absolutely amazing. Broke this daily structure. Beautiful triple bottom here on the daily. Hourly is absolutely beautiful. One thing holding Tesla up here is 292. So the game plan on Tesla, very, very simple this week. Higher risk approach, 277. Pull back into this 277 on Tesla. We can look for a higher risk bounce. Main watch is going to be a pullback in this 265, 270 area for a demand bounce. If Tesla can get that break and hold above 292, this is literally parabolic back in that 300, 310 area. This looks so good for this week, man. Tesla's definitely the top long watch. And the reason I had FOMO from Friday is because you guys know there was one spot we were watching for a long entry on Tesla, which was 265. We had our contracts loaded here. I didn't forget it. They were at 2.4 when we loaded them. By 11 o'clock hit right here, those contracts were sitting at 10.0. Literal vertical move straight into our target at 277. Literal, what was that? 25, 30 minutes. It was like a 500% return. And I just sat there and watched it like a bozo. A literal bozo. Anyway, that's what I'm watching on Tesla. Next, we got AMD here. AMD is a beautiful chart. Got that weekly higher low. Little concerned here with AMD because we did close back into that major supply, so it's not out of the woods yet. But what I'm watching on AMD is that breakout, right? So as you guys can see here, massive level on AMD, 98. If we can get that break and hold above 98 on AMD, I'll be very confident going long back into that 100, ultimately targeting that 105 level. Higher risk approach on AMD. Watch for that pullback into 93 or 90 for a demand bounce on AMD. And yeah, man, that's what I'm watching on AMD for the week ahead. Very simple, very clean. CRM. Another beautiful chart here. Got that weekly double bottom, weekly demand hold, weekly bullish engulfing. Closed right back into this massive structure here. I love the fact that CRM did break this downtrend, which it struggled with for some time. Now we're sitting back into this major resistance here at 268.50. So with that being said, is if CRM can hold above this 268.50, that's where I want to look to go long. This thing has nothing but room back into this 290 level. I think this is swing worthy, to be honest. CRM above that 268.50 is a top watch for the week ahead. Lastly here, we have MicroStrategy. This is a swing that we caught and we're still holding. We entered MicroStrategy literally right here. We closed Friday. I think it was like 160, 170%. But this chart still looks very, very good. First things first here on MicroStrategy, we got this major demand, which is at 357. We could look for that higher risk demand bounce here at 357, with the main watch being down here at 330, 340, which we could look for another re-entry long. Upside, excuse me, 373.50 on MicroStrategy. That's our long trigger back into 390, ultimately targeting that 404 level up here. And yeah, man, that's what I'm watching for the week ahead. Absolute beautiful charts. Yeah, man, we've covered NQ, ES, YM, RTY, silver, gold, SPY, QQQ, IWM. Woo! Netflix, Tesla, AMD, MicroStrategy, CRM. We've covered an absolute ton tonight, man. Last thing I want to go over here is VIX. This is huge, right? VIX failed that 30 level. But what I noticed here, right, on VIX specifically, is this 25 and 2250, right? This correlates, when you go look at the chart, right, to SPY or QQQ, correlates that supply, right? VIX is obviously the volatility index. So with this week having earnings, there's a great way for us to make money on VIX, and that's buying calls, right? I think, well, two ways, right? Buying puts or calls, right? Market goes up, VIX goes down, etc. Really, okay, let me break it down. I know it's probably a little bit confusing. Volatility enters the market, VIX goes up. Volatility leaves the market, VIX goes down. The market goes up, VIX goes down. The market goes down, VIX goes up. So there's more than one way to make money on VIX, okay? Wow, that fucking gold, man. Ouch. I'm not gonna lie, I'm over here crying on my screen looking at gold. So yeah, looking at entering a swing position on VIX along with SPY and QQQ, if we get that opportunity. But yeah, man, that's gonna conclude tonight's live. Got a bunch of giveaways to do, so let's get into that really quick. And yeah, I just want to make this clear, right? Kind of some, you know, it's the best way to put it. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, right? At the end of the day, it's all love from me, right? But one thing I cannot stand is a person, I'm not going to mention his name anymore, that typed in the chat, right? I cannot stand a person who admits their wrongs for doing other people wrong and then does it again. Like you saying sorry, you crying and this and that, and then going and doing the same thing again, and then trying not to do it to the so-called family that you're around. People like that are scum of the earth, right? In my opinion. So that's why I said what I did about that person. They take it personal, fuck them. You know, that's it. I ain't got nothing else to say to you. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, hey man, you guys just gotta be aware. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is the thing with social media. You know what I mean? Like, people show you what they want you to see. I do my best to, and this is another thing, right? I'm not trying to go in left field or anything like that, but a lot of people ask me, why don't you promote your mentorship, right? I have all these DMs from these fucking marketers. Man, you can make 400, 300, 400, 500, 600K a month, you know, by starting a Discord or promoting your mentorship more. I don't care about the money, right? The money's not the thing. I like a peace of mind. I like my name to mean something, right? I don't want to open a Discord where I have 50,000 people paying $100 a month, making 500K a month, but it's shit, right? There's no way that can be a good environment for it, because when it comes to signals, right, there's no longevity to that, right? Because at the end of the day, if I have a 90% win rate, I manage risk 10% of the time, but you don't, you're not going to have the same results as me, right? So signals in general, it's a double-edged sword. Sure, can you make money? Yes, until you don't. That's how that goes, right? That's like what my mentee Discord, everybody's on the same page. We're all trading the same system. We're all trading the same strategy. Everybody's on the same mission, right? We don't have any trolls. There's a good mix of positive energy, fun, vibe. You know what I mean? Like, that's that, right? That's that. Yeah, NQ is in the supply right now. That does look like a good short entry here. I'm still focused on gold, man. This chart looks absolutely beautiful. Like, for example, right, this gold move from here to here, that would have made you 2K. If you would have took a micro, that would have made you 200 bucks. Just that right there. Like, gold is so lucrative if you get on the right side of it. Like, if you would have caught it from up here, you're looking at a fucking $5,000 move. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like, I just try to be real. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out in this world that are fucked up in the head. And, you know, I don't knock anybody for what they do to make a living. I just feel like there could be a level of honesty and transparency. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's gotta be some line in the sand drawn where it's not all about money. Like these dudes, some of these dudes are making $500, $1 million a month and saying it's from trading, but really it's from their subscription. You know what I mean? I feel like that should be established. Like, hey, you know, that majority of my money comes from subscription, but I do trade, right? Like maybe only 1% of my money comes from trading. It doesn't matter, right? But I think it's fraud. You know what I mean? Like when someone says one thing that they're doing and they're not doing it, like that's just that. You know what I mean? That's just that, and that's a lot of what is in the trading community. And like I said, it's not my job to clean it up, but it is my job to be honest and transparent. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's all I can do. You know what I mean? I can give you my opinion. I can give you what I think. Like I said with the signals thing. Sure, can you make money? Yes, you absolutely can. Are you likely to make money and keep making money? No. You know what I mean? Like that's just a real thing of it. It's not. It's sure you can make a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, but the likeliness of you making a substantial amount of money and keeping it from signals is very low. Right? It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. But alright, let's get into this giveaway. Let's get it. I'm not gonna lie, this NQ is now intriguing me for a short as well. We got that nice break and retest here. Big support, turn resistance. So if we can get a nice lower high here and get a nice weak closure, we can look for that move down. If not, and we form that higher low here, reclaim that 440, that's where that squeeze can get going. But I like this hourly setup right now. If we fail that previous hourly's high, what time is it? 10:16. Yeah, this looks good. Fail that previous hourly high. Keep a stop loss above the current hourly high. Look for that move back down to that lows. I think that looks good. So everything is based off this 19,440, right? If we fail this 19,440, like I said, go short, target these lows, target that 19,300, stop loss above the hourly high. If we reclaim 19,440, you can look for that long, for that squeeze back into 19,480, ultimately targeting that gap fill. And that would be my decision making and my approach on NQ. But all right, let's get this giveaway going, and then we'll go ahead and call it a night. And yeah, last week, man, for example, like Thursday and Friday, I was just out of it. You know what I mean? Like Friday, I lost 2,500 on a beautiful day. Didn't take a single options trade. I can't remember the last time that I didn't trade options on a day like that where it was just a beautiful day. I just couldn't get myself to execute, you know, and it sucked. And I feel a lot better this week, so we'll see what happens this week. And yeah, man, like I said, I just try to be honest. You know, I try to be transparent because I know everybody wants to learn how to trade. I know everybody wants to attain the freedom that they see a lot of these people have, or, you know, even I have, you know what I mean? Which I try to keep it real, you know what I mean? Like what it took for me to get right here, right now, where I am in my trading journey, where I am consistently profitable and where I live, you know, 90% off my trading income. It's 6+ years, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing my chapter 10, you know, and you're still on the introduction. You know what I mean? That's what I just try to separate from. Like, you know what I mean? Like even my mentees, I tell them the same thing. Like just because you take my mentorship does not mean you're going to be profitable, right? My mentorship is like Google or Waze or Maps, right? It gives you the route. It gives you the blueprint. It tells you where to go, when to go there, the routes, where to watch out for traffic, gas stops, food, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, you still have to drive it. You have to get out. You have to pump your gas. You have to watch out for obstacles in a road, right? Like, yes, you have the roadmap, but at the end of the day, it's all up to you, right? If you can't manage your emotions, you don't have self-control, you don't have patience, you don't have discipline, you're going to consistently struggle, right? And that's the thing, like I go back to the signals, is I even tell my mentees, don't listen to me. You know what I mean? Like, listening to someone else trade, you're subconsciously inheriting their trading style, which you're not comfortable with. No two traders are the same. So when you're listening to someone trade, you're kind of mimicking their style, which is good if you're learning from them. But when you have 3 or 4 different people talking different trading styles, you're just a clusterfuck at the end of the day. You're lost because one person's doing one thing, another person's doing another thing, and another person says this thing, another person says that thing, and there's a lot of conflicting, you know, things going on there. So it's kind of confusing to you at the end of the day, and it makes things a lot harder, right? It makes things a lot harder when they don't need to be harder. That's why I suggest to you guys is find someone you resonate with, learn from them. Like I said, it doesn't even have to be me. Fuck me. Anybody, right? Find somebody that you resonate with as a person, not only as a person, but as a trader, and they can translate their experience and knowledge into education. You need to make sure that the delivery is there to where you can learn from them, right? Then once obviously you've established that, learn from them, right? And even in the morning, I tell all my mentees, don't listen to anybody, right? Don't listen to my pre-market game plan. Tune in after. If you want to trade with me, that's completely fine. Don't listen to anybody going into the trading day, because you could be watching one thing and then the person you're listening to says, oh, well, I don't like that. And then guess what? You second guess yourself. You need to build that confidence with yourself. You need to build trust, conviction, confidence in your own analysis. When you're listening to someone else and they say one thing and you're feeling another, now it creates conflict, and now you're going to believe them because they have more experience or whatever the case may be. And then your setup ends up working out and they were wrong. So now you're like, what the fuck's going on? It just creates a bunch of confusion. Best thing to do for you is, like I said, there's a systematic approach. Learn, get the proper education, put time in the market. The experience is going to be your best teacher. Journal along the way. The rest will fall in place. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes it's not for you, right? Like if you can't manage your emotions, you don't have self-control, and you don't have patience, it might not just be for you, right? I struggled years on end until I understood who I was as a person, my struggles, my triggers of what made me do X, Y, or Z that was negative. Like a big struggle of mine is if I miss a massive setup and then my next setup's a red trade, that triggers me to no end. Days like that, when I was an early developing trader, I would blow my account, right? If I missed a big setup and then I chased the setup and took a loss, that was a trigger for me to go nuts, right? That was my tilt. That was my tilt trigger, right? And things like that, people don't really think about. Or emotions, right? Like being in a size is too heavy. You're not really looking at the chart. You're looking at your P&L. The P&L is doing nothing for you but distracting you from the chart. There's so much that goes into a trading that a lot of people don't know about, and they don't even really care about. They just want to make money. And those are the people that get pushed out of the market. The big thing is with trading is you got to really love it. Right? You got to fall in love with the journey, right? You can't just focus on the light at the end of the tunnel, sitting in a Lambo, smoking a cigar and X, Y, and Z. You gotta fall in love with it. You gotta love the good. You gotta love the bad. You gotta love the ugly. More importantly, you gotta be willing to endure the good, bad, and ugly, right? Just like life, anything, right? There's highs, there's lows. The lows obviously feel like they're a lot longer than the highs, right? But there's a lot more to learn from the lows than it is the highs, right? And that's the big thing with trading, man. It takes time. You know, just like I tell my mentees, I tell them the same thing. I'm like, hey, anything you do in life, right, takes time, right? It takes time. And when it comes to trading, for you guys that are learning in the past year, right, let's just say, where's the last year at? What's today? 427. Okay, so let's go back here. 427. This is what you guys have learned in, right? Kind of bullshit, you know what I mean? You sat through a little bit of an uptrend, bunch of consolidation, and then a dump. You haven't even traded through any cycle, right? You haven't traded through an uptrend. You haven't traded through a downtrend. You haven't traded through consolidation. You haven't been smacked in the mouth, right? Like it's super important to get the proper education and then put time in the market. But while you're putting time in the market, you don't have to lose your ass. The same thing I tell my mentees, I'm going to tell you guys, is when you remove the risk off the table and focus on becoming a better trader versus trying to make money, your trading will change. A lot of you guys going to the trading day trying to make money when you don't even have the power to look at a chart and say you need to make a rational decision because of what you're seeing on the chart. You're trading back asswards. Learn how to trade, the rest will follow. Trying to make money is not the way to trade. Trying to make money is the easiest way to get pushed out of the market when poor trading happens and irrational trading, right? That's what happens. Following signals, for example. Sure, will it work in the short term? Yes, you might make a couple dollars. Are you likely to keep that couple dollars? No, you're not. Right? As soon as you have a red day, you can't manage your red day because you don't know your triggers. You don't know what puts you on tilt. You don't know how to manage yourself being on tilt. You can't manage your emotions. Next thing you know, that string of consistency with small green days is blown up by one red day. Now you're back to square one. And the worst part about it all is you redeposit money, but there's one thing you can't redeposit, and that's the trust, confidence, and conviction you lost by blowing your account. That's what I try to tell you guys, man, is you guys really got to preserve yourself as a trader, right? I got to a point where there was nowhere left for me to go. Either I was going to get it or I quit. Why? I could see a perfect setup, right? Say, for example, gold here, right? Perfect setup, A+, right? Let's say this right here, which this was a great setup. We just missed it, right? This was a great setup. A plus, everything aligns, right? This is an A plus, A plus, A plus setup. Let's say I'm early. I'm watching it right here. I watch it bounce. I watch it retrace. I had so much market trauma, I couldn't execute this if you paid me. If you told me, you said, Felony, hey, enter right now, I wouldn't do it. I was just scared. I was scared because of what I did previously. How bad I fucked up my own trust with myself. And that's why I struggled so much, because I had so much market trauma due through poor trading experiences. I knew I was a great trader. I knew what to do, when to do it, why I was doing it, but I didn't trust myself when I got put in a position to where I had to make a rational decision, and it caused me to 1, be wrong, 2, lose money, or 3, hey, it's okay to take a loss. I didn't have that understanding with the market, and that's where a lot of people fail, right? They don't have that understanding. They think they're not going to lose money, right? And a lot of times they enter a trade with, say, for example, a big position size. And there's one thought in their mind. Well, if this gets 100%, I'm going to make 10K. If this gets 100%, I'm going to make 5K. They're not thinking about the same consequence that comes with that losing trade. And when that losing trade comes, they're asked out. And now guess what? You didn't just lose 5K. You lost a ton of confidence and a test of trust within yourself. And that's where a lot of you guys go wrong, right? That's where a lot of you guys go wrong. And I do my best, man. I really do. And I feel like this isn't talked about enough to where it's the reality of trading, right? Trading isn't all about pressing buy and pressing sell. There's so much in between of that, right? Like even just being in a position, right? Looking at the chart, confidently making a decision on what you're looking at versus how you're feeling or what your P&L is saying. There's a difference between an experienced trader and an inexperienced trader. The experienced trader makes a rational decision based off their system and analysis versus an inexperienced trader makes a decision based off of their emotions and P&L. That's what separates the two. And majority of the time, that emotional decision making comes from red trades, and the red trades end up being bigger than the green trades, and that's what leads to unprofitability. Versus an experienced trader, their red trades are manageable and their green trades are much bigger due to having a system and a strategy that they stick to and having discipline. That is the difference, but it all starts with the whats, the whens, the wheres, and the whys. You got to have the education aspect, most importantly, the experience. That's the most important factor. You taking a mentorship today doesn't mean you're going to be profitable tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. A year is what I like to call a drop in the bucket when it comes to trading. You got to have time in the market, right? You cannot take a year and say, oh, I'm profitable, or oh, I'm unprofitable, I suck. No, you can't. You need 2-3 years minimum, right? Like anything good in life, especially trading, it's not going to come easy. For example, right? For example, trading. I could literally hop on a flight right now, go to Congo, right? Go on a safari, and long as I have internet, I can trade. I have a great chance of making money because of who I am as a trader, right? What more could you want there? You know what I mean? From like a freedom aspect. Like that in itself was worth it to me, where I could get my time back by becoming a consistently profitable trader. I gave up my lawn care business, completely gave the reins up. Now it's completely automated, right? I was at risk of losing everything. I gave everything to the market, right? And that's why I tell my mentees as well. It's like, hey, you don't have to give 100% of your time to the market, right? But what I do encourage is give 100% of yourself for the time that you do have. Because the market it works like this, right? Whatever you give to the market, guess what it's going to do? It's going to give back maybe 10%. So if you give the market 1,000%, it'll give you back 100%, right? The market doesn't care about how you feel. The market doesn't care about it's your last dollar. The market doesn't care about anything, right? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Why do you think traders struggle so much? There's one thing. It's emotions. Why do you think algorithms run through institutions and hedge funds? Because naturally humans aren't meant to handle the capability along with the speed, right? If you really think about it, right, we're not meant to be traders. Why? Because we got to control what we're known to feel our whole life. And in order to do that, you got to have a strong sense of self-control. So to think that you're going to take a course and all of a sudden be a great trader is bullshit. And you can tell who's a real trader or not because a real trader is going to speak to you in the manner that I am. Go look at Umar Ashraf, Usman, Azar, right? All of these great traders, 7-figure traders, right? Year over year, they're going to talk to you the same way I am. They're going to be real. They're going to be raw. They're going to be honest. They're not going to sit there and blow smoke up your ass so you pay for their fucking subscription. That's not what they're going to do. That's called a fucking marketer. That's not called a trader. They're not going to sit there and tell you to take their course for a guaranteed return on investment when they know that's complete bullshit. Go look at a real trader. Go look at a marketer. You're going to see the clear differences. It's that simple, right? Follow people who you want to be like, right? Don't follow someone because of what they have or what they show, right? Follow someone that you would like to be like because of what they've done, not because of what they said they've done or what they've posted based off what they want to do, right? That's the bottom line. Bottom line. Alright, let's get into it. God damn, it's 10:30. I gotta get the fuck out of here. What are y'all doing, man? Yeah, got me going on fucking yapping. Nah, man, I hopefully tonight, you know, hopefully tonight, you know, like, I really hope you guys got something from this. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. I really do. Anyway, let's get this thing cranking. 135. What are we gonna make it? 2025, man. This is everybody's year. Let's get it. Good luck. 2025 is the key word. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. $2025 is the key word. Let's get it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I just try to prepare you guys for one of the hardest things you're ever going to do in life, you know, but it also will be the most rewarding thing you've ever done in your life. You know what I mean? Like that first profitable month, that first profitable quarter, that first profitable year is a high like you'll never feel because you know that you're unlocking a door to freedom that you can only obtain by becoming a trader. And all the hardships are worth it, you know? Like it is. Everything I did, I would redo. You know what I mean? Like, it's worth it. That's all I gotta say. If you feel like you know you're ready to give up, don't give up. Take a break. Come back 10 times harder. Sometimes a break is all you need. You know what I mean? Trading's mentally exhausting. Look at me last week. You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm in the dirt mentally. Right? I'm gonna try to push through this week, and then the following week, I'm gone. You know what I mean? I need a break personally. You know what I mean? And you know, you can't just keep driving into the ground every single day doing the same thing you did yesterday, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And even where I'm at right now, 6 years in, I can tell right now that I'm starting to slip, right? And when you start to slip, you start to slide. And when you start to slide, it's hard to stop sliding. So it's important to be proactive and not reactive with yourself, not only as a person, but as a trader, just like anything in life. But yeah, man, I know you guys got this. Well, majority of you guys. Some of you guys just want to, you know, make a quick buck, and that's fine. I'll see you on the other side, you know, of the street, right? But for you guys that want to take it serious, you know what you got to do. Good luck, everybody. Wayne Garcia. Wayne Garcia. Wayne Garcia, where you at? How many? I owe you guys 2 giveaways. All right, let's get it. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Where you at, man? Here? Perfect. There we go. It's a good winner. There we go. That's a good winner. All right, let's run this back quick, fast, in a hurry. I got to get going. Reset, reset. What do I got to do? Oh, whoops. Sorry, whoever that was. Reset, reset, giveaway options. Turbo's the keyword. You guys know the vibes. Good luck, everybody. Now we're good to go. I got Wayne. Wayne's locked in. Side note, then, man, fucking our drop's coming soon. Stock streetwear, man. That I'm not gonna lie, it's the hardest one we've ever done by far. By far, the hardest one we ever done. Shit is absolute fucking gas. Absolute fucking gas. Alrighty, y'all. We got a couple seconds here. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Here we go. Big Swole! Hey now. Mr. Big Swole. Here we go. There he is. Big Swole. Big Swole. But I don't trade Bitcoin futures. I do sometimes, but I'm going to be honest with you. One time I messed up and traded a mini. I was down fucking 2,000 in 1 second. Ah, man, you're too late, Big Swole. 30 seconds, man. You're 32. Damn, dog. It's alright. Maybe next time. Maybe next time, brother. Maybe next time. Sorry about that, man. Alright. Let's try again. Let's run it right back. Nah, I'm just messing with you. You good, Big Swole. You good, brother. Shout out to Big Swole, man. Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. You always like to troll. I had to troll a little bit back. Alright, let's take one last look at these futures here. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Again, 19,440 on NQ. Long as we're above that, I think that risk to reward there long back into that gap fill looks great. NQ here. That would be the game plan. Long as we're above that 440, right? You could look for that long there. Realistically, use a stop below that higher low and target the top of the gap fill there. That looks very good. And on the flip side, if we get weak below that 19,380, look for that short down into 19,200s. Top watch for me, though, is fucking gold. I will catch this tonight. Mark my words. I will catch this tonight somewhere, somehow. I'm not going to bed till I do. I'm watching either a retest of 3,300 or a retest of this 3,310. I will catch it. Mark my words. By morning. Honestly, like if you wanted to be aggressive, right, you could take an entry on gold, literally smack right here. This candle closes weak. Short gold with the stop loss above this candle's high. I think this looks absolutely great if we close weak. This 5-minute candle closes weak. That's what I would do. Keep a stop above this candle's low. Target these lows. And then target that 3265. But the main watch is at 3,300, 3,310. Silver, pretty much the same game plan for the most part. I just don't like where they were holding that demand now on gold and silver. But I'm already oh my god, it's 10:40. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Hardy, you guys. Shout out to everybody, man. Wayne, Big Swole, congratulations tonight. You guys know how to get your money, man. Contact Dom on Discord. And everybody else, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight. I said I wasn't gonna live trade this week, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna trade with the minties for sure, but we'll see how I'm feeling, man. It's a big week. So if we get some nice setups, I'll pop in there. But as of now, I plan on just taking it easy and kind of just, you know, cruise control. You know what I mean? But yeah, just keep an eye on the hangout if you're not a mentee, and we'll go from there, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Again, I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning into these lives. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, man, manifesting a breakthrough week for everyone. Guys, be sure to smack that like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody. Y'all have a great night.